Alright guys, so yeah, this is my channel and I'm kind of approaching this channel much differently than other people have their channel. A lot of people, they already know what they're doing. They got a ton of years of experience and I guess professional experience is what I mean. So I draw all the time, but I draw for myself usually. Um, so this is basically just going to showcase my artwork. I'm going to try to get work from this, hopefully through commissions and also with the publishing of my books. Because I'm into comics. So as you can tell from this page, this is something sequential. And I actually had quite a bit of help from Google Images just to pull ideas from. And I'm reading a book right now. The guy who wrote, let me grab it. The guy who wrote How to Draw, Scott Robinson. So I actually didn't make it through that book, and I'm reading his second book called 3D Rendering. And realism is not what I do. So I draw cartoons and I draw in line. And then when I draw in line, I still don't render that much. So I'm pretty sure I can render to a certain extent, but those skills can always be improved, just like my sequential stuff, just like my drawing. There's always room for improvement. And a lot of this writing is I don't know where my story is going, or I don't know what my characters are doing, but I have this constant reaffirmed belief that I need conflict in anything that I'm gonna draw as far as sequential. So I got these people who are basically a conflict to other humanoids, and the other humanoids are pretty much like humans. And I'm just kind of just drawing random stuff but in sequence, and then I'm gonna script it later. So I really don't know what's going on. I just know that these people are hard to kill. It lets me practice my figures, and this is my first pass. So my first pass on these comics, and what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a second pass and maybe even a third pass, and then I'll probably script on my fourth pass. But I'm going to use Google Images as a place to draw from. And Scott Robertson, like many other artists, use references to draw from. So right now for my next sequence, I got 6 Google pages open, a bunch of rabbits and paper, just random stuff, right? And he was talking about that he has an AI where you could put a design into it, and then the AI comes up with a bunch of iterations for that thing. So I'm not anywhere to where I could pay for things like that because this has to generate an income. But yeah, just source something. I also got a rabbit in my house, so I could draw a rabbit right now. I've done a few studies, but not enough. He's usually just sitting down, so he's kind of boring. And unless you get a rabbit in motion is hard to draw because they're fast. But yeah, this is just gonna showcase my work to try to get some work for the work that I can do. So I don't necessarily draw people holding guns very often. So you know, I'm drawing tanks, I'm drawing people with guns, and I'm leaving a lot of stuff just for your mind to fill in. Like the eyes, I'm not really getting into it. I think the page more has to do with what I'm saying in body language and the objects there and stuff like that. So I'm not really getting into the eyes and the expressions in this graphic, but I am trying to put a lot of this together. just here and there. So we got some really, really elite warriors that I'm trying to come up with that are hard to kill and come up with biological weapons and stuff. So like I said, this is my first pass. I'm gonna make about another 2 passes on it, all in pencil. So I'm gonna leave the inks alone on this one, and I'm gonna just see how far we can take it with just pencil, because the computers are actually really good. And I buy some super cheap blue lines, and my scanner picks it up. So I buy these super cheap blue lines on Amazon. My scanner picks them up. So it's like pencil seems to be the easiest one because I can erase it. But yeah, I'm gonna do this one all in pencil and see what kind of grayscales I can get, and it'll probably help my rendering quite a bit. So this is also a lot of help from Google, because this is a simple perspective, but when I'm like, I just need to get images on the page, I kind of think this helps me. I mean, it's a block, so blocks are easy to draw, but it just kind of helps you put something somewhere. It's kind of like a word prompt. Somebody gives you a spoon, you draw a spoon immediately, and then they're like plate, and then you draw a plate under it. By the time you know it, you're gonna have a meal, you know. So there's that. Plus, I get to come up with some things that I don't normally come up with. And I think I was watching a lot of sci-fi, so that's kind of what started this. I start more projects than I will relatively ever finish. But I'm very, very comfortable with this size of paper. Like this size of paper, 12 by 9, super comfortable for me, because I could put it on a board. That board could go with me everywhere. From, the car to a waiting lobby. I went to my kid's school with it. So it's very easy and portable, much more so than the 17 by 11. That is still very portable, but I don't hold the 17 by 11 board in my hand like freehand, like this. Like I haven't got comfortable with that, like, because I could draw just like that. And it's super light, super easy. So this side's really comfortable for me. And I know there's not a lot of room or any gutter, but I think once I'm done with my passes, I'm gonna put it into Procreate, and I might, take the selection tool and cut it off and kind of give it a little bit of space or a little bit of breather room. I don't know yet. But this format is not a format that's neglected by other artists. So there's Framed Ink. His name's really hard to pronounce. So Marcos would be about the easiest name for me to pronounce. Mateu Mestre. So he has to be from Spain or something like that. Really good. He got some really good books, and I just got his drawing techniques book. And I really liked what he has in there. Plus he leaves more for your mind to put in. Like he gives you the base, and then your mind fills in the gaps. Like a lot of illustrators will say leaving things unsaid is probably better than spelling everything out. And Scott Robertson is super accurate, really good at drawing, but everything is absolutely spelled out to a T, like ellipse templates kind of spelled out. So very accurate stuff. So he's not somebody that I wouldn't want to learn to draw from, but it's not going to be the way I draw. So I kind of make a lot of stuff up. I like making stuff up. It feels better. But, Google Images helps me build stuff like that. The beanbags, build beanbags all day. Yeah, so we're just getting getting some sequential stuff going, because I could hit my sketchpad and come up with the stuff all day long. But when it comes to some sequential stuff or something that I can sell, not saying that a sketch isn't something that's sell, but I think publishers will get behind a story more than something else. So I've been doing this off camera, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I'm gonna work on my 12th today. So I think this helps out. If you guys are struggling with coming up with your own sequential work, I think just getting your ideas down on paper and kind of getting it there helps out a lot. Plus, it gives you a lot of just experience doing it. So I've made comics, but coming up with stuff that's more conflict oriented is a little bit different. Also, coming up with the words is always quite difficult for me. But if I have something there, I could always go page by page and try to come up with a script, and then do something over it. So usually, since I lost my Photoshop privileges, I just use my Ames guide and letter that way. Because the text in Procreate is quite hard to do. And we'll see what I come up with, because this is the size that Americans draw at. 17 by 11, 15 inches live, 10 by 15 live. And I don't want to be so welded to this platform that I don't draw on any other size paper. So I think this frees me up a little bit just to try to get some stuff down. Plus, there's a bunch of other companies that have books out there in a different shape. But I am gonna struggle when it comes to lettering, because Procreate is not simple. And this is sulfite paper. I like sulfite paper, 80 weight. It's super friendly to me. I've drawn on it a lot. I kind of picked this over a lot of things because it's easy to erase. It catches the graphite. It's drawing paper. So I'm actually more comfortable on this paper than I am on my iPad. So I could draw on my iPad, but I don't usually, because I'm a lot more comfortable on this. And I could get a ream of it for like $4. So there's a lot of story there. But I'm gonna keep going at this, and I'll do a time-lapse video somewhere else. You could probably find it. Keep this video under 15 minutes, because I don't quite like watching really, really long videos. And when I get a better infrastructure, then you can see me draw a page in real time. But I think right now I can only go about 45 minutes. So to anybody else who watches my channel, thank you very much. I really appreciate the views. This is much better than passing out flyers. Like, passing out flyers is really easy, but I think this is much easier because I just got to show you 11 pages and it didn't cost me anything. So that's always good. I will see you in the next video.